That, sometimes you just got to let one fly and take a risk. And every now and then it pays off, and at the worst, if it lands incomplete, that's the best thing that could happen. So you play in the secondary on this defense, but I was watching some film from Tazewell and from this week from the John Battle game, and you're not afraid to close in and get up there with some of the ball carriers.
No, sir.
Of course, there's not too big of a size difference as far as that goes, but do you like sticking your nose into the run game a bit?
Yeah. Growing up, I was a middle linebacker, and, it's just growing up, my dad was one of the coaches. He was the biggest part of the defense. So he would always, he always told me, don't be afraid to hit somebody because they're not going to be afraid to hit you.
That's very true. So you were able to close up on Lane Scarborough several times, laid a big hit on him in the third quarter. What goes into that as far as when do you break off your coverage and when do you have to decide, okay, well, you got to wait till he passes the line of scrimmage, I'm sure, but what really clicks where you're like, I've got to go now?
Defensively, Coach Sidnor, our defensive back coach, has told me read the guard, and whenever I see if he's not backing up to pass, I just have to read and react to it. And I saw Scarborough have it, and 90% of the time he kept it, so I just had to trust my instincts and go get it.
Yeah, he was very run-happy last week, and they really weren't able to get very many big pass plays off. They had that one in the third quarter, but other than that, everything was catch, and they were on the ground right after they made the grab. So really did a good job limiting big plays and making good sound tackles. And Bobby, as we noted earlier, you're in your senior season at Virginia High, and you know how much this VT game means to the city and for the fan bases. What are some tips that you can give some of these younger guys for the Bearcats going into your senior year, but they're in their younger years?
Right, just you always got to keep a clear head. The electricity, it's going to be amazing. It's just there's going to be a lot of energy. You can't let it get to your head, and just you can't go in thinking that you have the game won. You have to take it play by play and just focus on your assignment.
So, yeah, it's one of those games where you can really let the emotions get to you, I'm sure. What were some things that you went through as a player in your previous 3 years with that VT game?
I remember last year I had a bubble route, and I caught it and I got upfield, and I let it a little bit get to me, and I got a big head. And then a couple plays later down the field, I had a slant route, and I cut it too far upfield, and Coach Chris let me know about it because the safety had read me, and he came down and picked, and the safety had an interception and took it for a long ways. So he told me that I had to get the slant route a little bit more shallow.
So that's just don't get too tied into the game and don't get the big head. Is that what the point is for the VT week? And so that's a pretty good memory to have, getting chewed out by the head coach. But I was getting ready to go and ask you what your best memory is from Virginia High, but I'm sure it wasn't that one, so we might go ahead and get you another chance to do a best memory from Virginia High.
I'd say the best memory was last year during a practice. It was our quarterback and our middle linebacker's idea. Last year our quarterback was Ryan Bradley, and the middle linebacker was Aaron Rose and Adam Lohman. And they had the idea of when the ball was snapped, everybody just drop. And, the ball was snapped, and we all just dropped, and our inside receiver coach at the time was Andrew Belcher, and he just, as soon as we all dropped, he goes, well, that's great. Now it's, 2nd and 14, so we have to get more yards for it. And I thought that was a really cool moment for us all.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. So going into your senior year, how much does this one game mean to you on Friday night?
It means a lot. Going out on my senior year, I want to end out this, playing Tennessee High with a good win. It feels just the same as battle. You just got to go in focused. And
of course, the road doesn't end after Tennessee High. Of course, you got Wise Central coming up the week after that on the road. Then you get some rest with a bye week before you really hit the meat of that schedule, finishing off the season. So how do you keep it together after Tennessee High? So let's say a win is in the books Friday night. How do you keep that together and keep everybody on the road for that Central High game, on the road especially?
I think the coaches do the best part with that. They help us keep our poise and, keep our heads. And just take it one play at a time and just stay focused. Don't let the poise and the emotion get to you. Don't let the adrenaline get it too far. Just always focus on what your goal is and just go after it.
So, Bobby, thank you for joining us. And this is honestly the longest I've talked to somebody while somebody was wearing a Notre Dame pullover. So I don't think I've ever talked to a Notre Dame fan that long. So, of course, but thank you for joining us. And for the first ever Bearcat Sports Chat from Buffalo Wild Wings and everybody that came out tonight, we thank you all. And hopefully you come back next week. And for the fans that were able to listen online, remember 6:30, same place, same time. But before then, we have a little bit of business to take care of on Friday night with Tennessee High coming to Gene Malcolm Stadium, 7 o'clock kick. And if you can't make it out to the game or if you want to listen at the stadium, you can tune in to our pregame show, the Bearcat Kickoff Show at 6:30 p.m. on Bearcat Radio Network. And we'll see you guys Friday, and go Bearcats.
Follow Bearcat Radio on Twitter with the handle @BHS Bearcat Radio and on Facebook by searching Bearcat Radio for the upcoming broadcast schedule and shows on the flagship stream of Virginia High School Athletics.